Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to James Trimmier and a normal Joe. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. Welcome back to Stygian, Reign of the Old Ones, as we resume our hunt for the Arkham Stabber. Looks like the outsider wants to have another chat. Let's see what he has to say. Although the amber eyes behind the rags glint with expectation, the creature remains silent as a corpse. Why do you cover your face in rags? Are you a leper? Even the sick have some idea of what is false within them. Although I've come to accept the painful truth of being a monster, I yet have no clue as to the nature of my extraordinary condition. You weren't aware that you were, like this? Not for a long time. There were simply no mirrors in the castle. He is speaking mostly to himself again. Now I see with all clarity that ignorance of my own nature was the greatest of blessings. You can sense his rising anger. And I destroyed it, shattered it with my own hands. My entire existence I tried to reach humanity, my kind from which I had been separated. The creature laughs bitterly. Such a hopeless fool I was. I left my castle, the only home I ever knew, ever could know, to seek people who I was never, will never be a part of. His anger is directed at you now. The deep, rugged voice almost makes your ears ring. Why do you ask such questions? Do you enjoy mocking me too, stranger? That was not my intention. After a few moments, the outsider talks again, in a calmer tone. I'm afraid I allowed my manners to lapse briefly. He shyly turns his eyes from you. Don't we have things to do? You must know that you will never be judged by me. It is... The following word sounds almost inaudibly from his cracked lips. Appreciated. About your condition. What about it, stranger? My being a compound of all that is unclean, uncanny, unwelcome, abnormal, and detestable? Okay, so we're not quite ready to discuss that just yet. Duly noted. Anyway, let's see what Horatio has to say. You can hear someone, probably a man, sobbing behind the locked door. The person inside shouts, "Leave me alone!" I just need a few questions answered. Questions? About what? I'm investigating the Stabber case. What does this have to do with me? The man takes a deep, sobbing breath before continuing. You listen to me. There is a ruthless killer in this town, yes. And he is worse than that. He is the king of all of Arkham's murderers. You know who I'm speaking of, that black-hearted, wax-faced son of a bitch. Now go ahead and point the finger at me. I don't care who hears me say it. He's a son of a bitch. Yeah, I'm not too fond of him either. Then please leave, sir. His voice throbs with pure, boiling hatred. Considering the things I'm planning to do, even talking to me might cost you your neck. I'm willing to take that chance. Would you open the door, please? First prove to me that you're not with the mob. I didn't break your door down and kill you. The room goes silent for a few seconds. Then the lock clicks, and the door yawns open. Well, we've got plenty of swords. Let's see what he has to say first. You see a devastated-looking man in a wrinkled, stained stage costume. This must be the magnificent Horatio, or what's left of him. You're really not going to kill me, right? The man's severely swollen eyes tell you he's been in this state for some time. Not unless you try to kill me first. For a fragment of a second, you think you see disappointment flicker in its reddish eyes. All right, ask your oh-so-important questions. What do you know about the Arkham Stabber? I've heard that some folks were being stabbed. I've barely left this gloomy chamber for a long time. Weeks. Or is it months? Even the time is damned in this place. He wipes his eyes with the sleeve of his tuxedo and continues. Dusk was always the most melancholic time of day for me. He laughs bitterly. Now I'm trapped forever in this moment of eternal dusk. All alone with my memories of her. On a bright day, some memories can warm your heart. On days like this, they pierce you like ice, reminding you of what has been lost forever. I'm sorry, I know the feeling. Horatio silently stares at the wall. It seems your words aren't reaching him. Did you hear about the young man who was killed on this street a while ago? You catch him wavering for a short moment. Did you hear about the lovely young lady who was killed at the hands of that tyrant? Look, pal, we each have our own wounds in this wretched town. What lady? His tired eyes begin to water, as if about to continue their routine of constant weeping. She was my assistant. Not just my assistant. Violet was everything I had. What happened to her? She was... He stops abruptly, growing angry. I don't suppose you came here to ask about Violet. Forget about your questions and leave me be. So, you know absolutely nothing about the victim. I can't say that I like your tone. You'd better leave if you're done with your questioning. I'm just saying, I heard you have a sword, or swords. So what? Do you think my stage swords are like the meat cleavers the mob uses to behead people? I'm a magician, for God's sake. He casts his eyes down. I mean, I used to be one. One of the best. Haven't you heard? The magnificent Horatio has come to town. Yeah, I think I saw one of your flyers. Is that supposed to make me feel better? He looks at the state of his clothes and smiles bitterly. Look at my magnificence now. So, you're a magician. An illusionist, to be more precise. I'm no hedge wizard like those mad sheiks of the cult. I don't have any control over poor folks' minds or anything like that. But if you learn the art of manipulating the audience's perceptions, combined with special optical effects, you can put on a real spectacle, something that people will remember their entire lives. For the first time, you catch a glimpse of life in this pained man. A pure moment of sharing the same space with the impossible, the unexplainable. That's magic. Dark clouds gather again as quickly as they parted. But when Violet died, the magic in me died with her. You mentioned the sheiks of the cult. Look, I use the principles of nature in my craft. I'm no scientist, but I'm well read. Optics, physics, engineering. Every spectacle is grounded in delicate calculation. But those mad priests are a different breed. They're almost like... He struggles to find the right words. They suck the faith out of their worshippers and turn it into a disease. A sickness that can affect reality. Sickness. It is the ultimate form of art, the art of shaping reality. Seems like you're on the cusp of joining them. I shan't keep you. Right, Horatio stares at you impatiently. What's your grudge against Waxface? His eyes focus on the memory of his sworn enemy, and he answers slowly, making every word count. He took what is dearest from me, and I plan to do exactly the same. And if I can't find something that monster holds dear, which would be of no surprise to me at all, then I will take the wretched life from his fat carcass. Okay, I guess we're done. Let's have a look around. This dusty corner is cluttered with the depressed illusionist's quirky paraphernalia, gewgaws, and gimcrackery. Subterfuge. Okay. There we go. You may get inside Horatio's cage and try to escape by yourself, testing your escape artist skills. Well, that, Sure, why not? Maybe it'll impress Horatio. After an arduous struggle that took hours, you are finally free. Perk gained. Escape artist. Escape Artist 1. Progression escapes can be made more easily. Alright, not what I was expecting, but certainly nothing to complain about. Let's see what Horatio thinks. Nothing. A deck of marked cards. Not relevant, but useful if we decide to go gambling again. From the room window, the lifeless body of Julian, the stabber's last victim, is still visible. Although Horatio claims he is unaware of the young man's death, this certain view contradicts with the man's accounts. Does it now? Why are you still here? I answered all your questions. Your window directly overlooks the crime scene, and you say you never left the room, yet you saw nothing? I was... Horatio averts his gaze once again. He may be a master of visual deception, but his attempts at verbal deception are a disaster. I was sleeping. Horatio, this is serious. People will die. I didn't see anything. I can still see his corpse from your damned window. The man suddenly blurts out in angry desperation. All right, I saw it. I saw how they ripped that young man to pieces. Why would you hide this information? The pained man shouts at you in tears. Because they were strong and merciless, and they knew how to kill. They're as ruthless as that monster Waxface. Wait, there's more. You want to know everything, huh? When the shadows were done with that man, I stormed down the stairs to catch them. I shouted after them, but they never even turned to look at me, and I swear they flew away through the air. What were they, exactly? How should I know? I've been ridiculed for these kinds of things all my life. Spirits of some kind? But I could feel the hatred oozing out of them. It was like mine, maybe even stronger. But you went after them. Only because I wanted them to kill Waxface. I would give anything to make him suffer like I did. He is clearly on the verge of a nervous breakdown. My life, my soul, anything. Horatio, calm down. I know it seems unbearable, but this is simply a natural reaction when coping with grief. Your words partially assuage the man's troubled mind. Anything. Did you see where the shadows went? I might have. He looks at you with a fresh expression. I just might. You asked for the truth, and I told it. You took a chance on my retribution, so some kind of repayment is only fair. You know what I'm planning to do, and you're going to help me. He wipes his eyes with his dirty sleeve again. That is, if you want to know where that House of Shadows is. What do you have in mind? All I need is for you to find an unguarded entrance to the Blackened Club. I'll take care of the rest. Yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea. But, on the other hand, if there's even a slight chance that we can kill Waxface, I guess it might be worth a shot. Let's dig a little deeper here. First, tell me what he did to your assistant. You're the persistent type, aren't you? I used to be the same before all these. He recollects the tormenting events of his recent past. Violet. She never wanted that show. Not one bit. A private show for the unseen Imperator himself. Who would want that? But I told her it would be good for us. He was the only authority in this chaos, after all. I thought if he liked the show, he would protect us. Foolish, wasn't it? Hey, everyone is scared in this place. You acted to secure yourself and Violet. No, I acted like a moron. I persuaded her. So we found ourselves there in the end, straight into the casino lounge. Spent hours preparing the stage. I wanted that show to be perfect. I wanted to make an impression. When we were finally ready and nervous as hell, he came. Surrounded by his made men, who were like flies buzzing around rotten meat. We weren't allowed to look at him directly, but I could see his huge silhouette out of the corner of my eye. We started the performance, and the first few tricks went well. I couldn't see the man's face, and the made men seemed uninterested, but I can tell when there's a spark in the eyes of the audience. Then the time for the blade box act. You've heard of the trick, right? The lady gets inside a prop coffin, and the magician stabs it through with swords. Then the lady comes out just fine, and you never know how. In reality, the entry points of the swords are all precisely calculated. I see. He's growing more anxious with every passing second. We were in the middle of the act, and Violet was inside the box. When I was about to insert the third sword, I noted something moving from the corner of my eye. Waxface had actually stood up and was moving towards me. I could hear his heavy footsteps without even turning my head. I was trembling when he finally asked me if he could give it a try. Before I knew what was happening, his brutes grabbed the swords from my hands and grappled me. Horatio looks like he's being grappled again, this time by invisible hands. They forced me to keep my head down. He started stabbing the box. He speaks as if he's suffocating, shattering the wood savagely. Then I heard Violet scream. Blood was seeping out of the box. Full of agony, he shouts. The box became a real coffin. He's returned to his broken, lifeless state now. When he was done, I heard that accursed voice again, calling me a fraud, ordering his men to throw me out. I don't know, care, or remember what's happened since then. Just because I said my piece doesn't mean you should feel sorry for me. If you want to help me, I already told you how to do it. I'll be fine. Jeez, all right, I'll do my best. Good. The monster's lair is called the Blackened Club. It stands in French Hill. Just find a way in and return to me. He seems lost again in his crimson plans of vengeance. Wow, that was horrifying. I'm actually surprised we didn't gain any angst from that. Anyway, we already know how to get inside the Blackened Club, so I guess we'll head there and then report back to Horatio. Oh, but one thing I would like to do before we go any further is learn that Tongue of the Dead spell. We've come across several corpses, so that could come in handy. There's actually a campsite just outside, so we'll run down there and get some rest. That'll actually give us a chance to learn a couple of schematics, too. Ah, dang it. Looks like they finally cleaned up Julian's body. I'm guessing that happened right after we learned about the House of Shadows. Well, that spell still might come in handy, so let's stick with the plan here. We're actually fine on health and sanity, so we'll just focus on unlocking things. And on keeping watch, of course. All right, here we go. Very nice. Spell learned, 2 new crafting recipes unlocked. Honestly, that went just about as well as it possibly could have. Let's get that new spell slotted and give it a try. Now, Julian's body is gone, which is a shame. That would have made a perfect test subject. But we did see a body in the Essex. Let's go pay that a visit. Reanimated with the shock of breaching the shroud which separates the flesh from the soul, the corpse speaks in the timeless tongue. How dare you disturb me? My work here is done. Relinquish me. Not quite what I was expecting. Let's try siphoning the occult essence of the dead being. The corpse refuses you with its last remaining will and returns to the netherworld. Well, that was productive. I'm guessing our occult score wasn't high enough. We'll give it another shot once we've gained a level or two. Let's head over to that tunnel in French Hill. That way we can find the entrance for Horatio. And there's 2 more corpses we can try to talk to. Oh, actually, let's see if we can have a chat with Honest Bill. No, I guess not. That's a shame. It's you. I don't think we've ever actually talked to that guy. He can hardly contain his excitement. You. What about me? It's you. Do I know you? You are him. I mean, you are you, but you are also him. Ha! There is an odd pulsating spasm at the edge of his mouth. Those eyes. Can you please tell me what's going on here? You'll know in time. And we'll live those lovely, lovely moments again. Ha! And I'll be a good boy this time. He locks his eyes, alien and affectionate, on yours. Billy will be a very good boy. What do you want from me? Oh, don't you worry, sir. I'm no longer the spoiled brat who must have everything his own way. I told you, Billy will do whatever it takes to be a good boy. The edge of his mouth spasms again. Leave me alone. Yes, show me your real feelings, sir. It is only natural that you are angry with me. But trust me, in time I will show you that I've changed and... He exhales with deep longing before completing his words. And you'll accept me eventually. His last words follow almost as softly as a whisper. Because Billy is a good boy. Okay, so that, Wait, is he gonna follow me around now? Fantastic. Well, we'll deal with him later. Hey, Donna the Mute's back. Yeah, that seems about right. Alright, let's chat with those corpses first, and then we'll scope out the basement. Huh. Okay. I've gotta say, I'm a little disappointed here. I really thought we'd get more use out of this spell. Alright, let's keep moving. Well, we got what Horatio wanted, but we're not actually trained in stealth, so let's not push our luck here. And back to Horatio. Did you find a way into that den of debauchery? I did. Finally, tell me all about it. He carefully listens to your directions. Then into the dragon's den I go. I owe you, sir. Now, let me think of the places I passed while following the shadows. After some arduous calculations, you finally have a potential lead on the location of the murderers. I have to warn you, it's not a good idea to go there alone. He's not with you anymore. The adrenaline of planning to face his sworn enemy has taken over completely. Goliath, I'm coming for you. David is coming to slay you. He moves to the door. Hey, wait. Are you even armed? Damn it. Okay, we'd better get after him. Well, shit. That was quick. The hapless illusionist has become yet another victim of the unmitigated hatred against Waxface's cruelty. His corpse serves to dissuade other haters, with a note that reads, I'm Horatio the Charlatan. My last trick was to make my head disappear. That really wasn't how I was hoping his story would end. Can't seem to conjure up his spirit either. Crawford's Knight of Wands. This tarot card was once part of a deck owned by the renowned occultist Josiah Crawford, and it carries his personal charm. Holders of this card who lack certain personal attributes may suffer the reverse effect of the Knight of Wands. I have no idea what that means. But I guess it's one more trinket to research in our spare time. In fact, maybe we'll just pay Isidore to identify it for us. Anyway, that means we've exhausted all of our leads in the Arkham Stabber case, with the exception of Wajadal and the House of Shadows itself. I don't think we're quite ready to leave the relative safety of New Arkham just yet, so next time, we'll pick up here as we pay Richter a visit and start gathering the components that Stanley Fredkin has requested. See you then. Sorry, Horatio. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Stygian, Reign of the Old Ones, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube channel, the official Facebook page, the official Twitter feed, or the original crowdfunding campaign over on Kickstarter. Links are in the description.